Oh, here we go. This one has a talk prompt. This game's so sneaky. Like, there are just kind of lit windows here and there. But just randomly one of them will have a talk prompt. It's weird that there's no silhouette.
If only we could play together like we used to. Murphy, I miss you. If only we could play together like we used to. Murphy, I miss you. Hey, that sound. Is that you, Murphy? I know that whistle. It must be Murphy. Thanks for coming by. I want to play, but I feel too sick. I don't think I can. I miss Zach and Sophie and Eric. I wish we could all play.
That's tragic. It's ultimately just like a chance to be upset and get 500 ergo. No worse. Huh. They started playing their whistle. Well, that's sad. I guess that was the whistle event. Yeah, we did have hints in advance that the watchman used to play with the children. Now he's a big scary electro monster, so I don't think that would go over very well anymore. Yep, there's the event gone. Okay. That's pretty handy. Even if the event themselves might not always be a big deal, I just think about how, like, it can just be so difficult to keep track of the elements in some of the Souls games. Toaster gave me pushback on this during the podcast we had about it, but it just didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, what do you mean? Of course it's hard to keep track of the storylines. That's why there's so many videos about, like, how to find them, or what happens in the story because you missed it, and so on, in, like, Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne and so on. It's, like, genuinely hard to, like, find the through lines of what items can be used where, or where each character goes each time you talk to them. And also the timing of when you need to interact with them before they might just, like, disappear and so on. It's kind of handy just to have, like, a hint, even if it's not pointing exactly what to do and where. It's at least like, hey, that item you found, it comes up back here. Oh, nope. No stealth on this guy. Oh! I tried locking onto them and they didn't get up. They're faking me out now. Ow. Not really nailing it, am I? Oh wow, 3 hits isn't even enough. Whoop.
My health bar.
Do-do-do-do. But yeah, I have mixed feelings on the legacy of Dark Souls and From Software's games, and what I like about them versus what is the like reputation that surrounds them, and the way that people crystallize every single element of that into being like a collective this game was good, so everything about it must be good individually because the things that it overall built was good, and that means you have to keep all those elements or it won't be a Souls game anymore. This looks like a bridge I can make. That is a big thing. Like, generally speaking, I don't think that Dark Souls was good because it was hostile to its players or anything like that. Or incomprehensible. I think a certain level of obscuring information helps you be more curious about stuff and have to work a little more. I don't think that necessarily means just be obtuse. Okay, so welcome to our poison swamp. Obligatory. I really should have equipped oop, the puppet of the future. I really should have equipped a cure. I'm about to get myself in trouble. Ow. Shock. This thing's got a lot of health. Alright, I'm definitely not going to survive this. Let's just grab the stuff and get out of here. Is that... Booster glaive. Can't go there. I just 1000% will not be able to attrition this enemy down with the healing resources I have. Am I even gonna make it to the top of this ladder? Let's see. I was gonna try to use a healing item, but I think I should just use the bonfire and restart. Yeah, there's a shortcut on the other end I can open later. So the level's kind of molded around this location. Let's just refresh and then go a different way. And I'll find the other way around it, and maybe I'll be a bit stronger. Maybe I can drain the poison. At the very least, I would like to have an approach where I can fight it with full healing and not having two of them spent already on the other guy. Even if that means running past the other guy to fight him. So yeah, unfortunately the fight is in the poison, so I can't use a thing that removes poison to help, because it just will get reapplied immediately. This is scary. Yep. Point of no return, drop. Yep. Are you healing? They heal. Interesting. Not all the way, I don't think. I think they have like a buffer of health that's a different color, and that part regenerates over time. Die. Salamander dagger. Now I have two new weapons to take a look at. I'm definitely open to another moveset. I like that this weapon's kind of heavy and damaging, but I don't love its moveset. I didn't love its other move. I didn't love its previous moveset either. It just wasn't very good at connecting consistently. So this is a much better moveset for consistently connecting my attacks, but it is also there's no sweep to it, which is kind of rough. So it doesn't multi-target hit very well. I do like this better than my old attack, because he reaches as far as possible. So it's pretty good at connecting. The other one being a 2-hit combo doesn't help me much when the first swing doesn't have very good reach, so it almost always only hits the second... It almost always would only hit the second time and not the first time, and I think that means it's even just doing collectively less damage. So that sucks. So our new weapons, baton head, glaive blade, salamander dagger. So booster glaive, salamander dagger. This is another great sword weapon blade. I kind of wish that the game would more succinctly summarize the point of each one. Like, what's this guy's deal? Because I have to look at like a multi-page spreadsheet to interpret like what the point of a particular weapon might be. This one has more charge pulse cells. Fable charge. What even changed? I changed pages, but what changed? What's the difference between these first two pages? Oh, this one, it removes the information about the handles messing things up and just focuses on the blade itself, I guess. Storm Slash. Is that just the weapon I started with? Oh, and this is the handle. Is the glaive just the weapon I started with? No, because I'm using the Great Sword of Fate. Whatever this is a different blade. Because it's a blade taken from a giant cutting machine, it is heavy but forceful. The puppet frenzy birthed a generation that lost their families and swore revenge. Axel, who went to war with his father's paper cutter in hand, was no different. Salamander dagger. Designed to make ergo generate overheat. An ergo power source that emits heat is embedded in the back of the sword. Salamander symbolizes fire and purification. In that regard, the dagger was created for a special purification ritual regarding alchemist defectors. This one's a bit more straightforward because it's clearly a fire weapon. So yeah, less physical attack, but then you get fire. There's always the question then of how common is fire weakness versus how common is fire resistance, and then also how does this game handle the damage reduction calculations for weapons that have multiple status effects. I think I remember hearing that like in Dark Souls you were like double penalized for having multiple status effects, so it was overall like calculated against your favor a lot of the time or something. Here, let's do the smart thing, which is actually try out these weapons in their current form real quick. Is this the one that the guy was using against me? Oopsie. Ooh. Not gonna lie, really cool weapon. Oh my god. This is instantly so much cooler than my current weapon. It's frustrating. What do I get if I just use the hilt? I guess you get the moveset. But probably not the charge attack. Maybe you do. This one's just a little guy. Tiny salamander stabby weapon. Very light, heavy attack. Let's see how this looks. I do get the cool charge. Okay. This is interesting. Huh. In some ways, it's a really interesting iteration on something that I took issue with in previous Souls games, which is that, like, they give you this massive variety of weapons to get. And on one hand, it's cool that if you upgrade the starting weapon, you're often, like, reasonably capable of beating the game with that. So you don't feel like you completely screwed yourself, necessarily, even though you might see, like, other options that you might have thought were cool. But oftentimes you can upgrade the thing you like to make it well, as long as you pick the one that just has matching, like, stat scaling with whatever your build is, and you can pretty much make that work. And then, but the issue I have is that in those games, you get these upgrade materials, the Titanite shards, and you just run out. Like, you just run out really quickly. So it's like, it's not completely unreasonable. Like, they tend to be grouped into tiers, and so the first tier of Bloodstone or Titanite shard in Bloodborne and Dark Souls is given out kind of sparingly. But then once the game introduces the next tier, that thing's wobbling around. Is that also a boss fight? I love how they tease things through windows in this game. But like, once you unlock the next, once they start dropping the next tier of upgrade, the previous tier often becomes kind of...
This place gives me the creeps. It's like something's gonna jump out any second. It's okay, pal. Gemini's looking out for you.
If you ever complain that I stand still when I'm trying to finish a thought, it's because of moments like this, where it's just like, the game will distract me too much when I'm trying to get through the thought. It just doesn't work. But once they start giving the next tier, they usually then start giving you way more of the previous tier, to the point where it's supposed to kind of flood you and just let you just upgrade whatever you want through those earlier levels, but you then have to make a tough choice about what gets to get the current big upgrade. And that happens for each of the 3 times. The problem is, one, there's only a few Titanite slabs in the entire game. I think later games gave you more. Each of them's usually uniquely dropped in a specific place, but they... especially early on, they were relatively rare in earlier games. But what's rough is that Dark Souls introduced Twinkling Titanite and Dragon Bone, or whatever it was called, instead of... for upgrading other types of special weapons instead of using Titanite. And the problem there is that those are just entire other currencies that are themselves actually relatively spare. Like, you run out of them. And so I would often find a situation where, like, I want to experiment with a different weapon, but it has to be for my build specifically, or it doesn't scale well, and it has to... oh, well, nope, I don't have enough Petrified Dragon Bone, so I guess I can't. And so people are like, why do you just use one weapon the whole playthrough? And it's like, well, the resources... the way that the resources are distributed creates a situation where you can't change weapons because the upgrades are either too unevenly distributed. Like, you either just don't have enough in most situations to upgrade a second equivalent weapon without extensive farming, or you're in the middle of the progression system where you're just getting enough to just barely upgrade through the tiers with what little resources you're getting for the first time, and if you split that with a separate weapon, then neither of your weapons will be very good because you're going to be behind the curve. Like, you could upgrade 2 weapons, or have one weapon that's like 3 levels higher, which is a lot. And so it's usually just a bad idea. So I'm very interested in the fact that this game is letting me upgrade the blade, and make the blade do more damage. And I am kind of stuck with that blade in a similar way. But I can replace the hilt, and that gives it a new moveset. That's actually super interesting. Because that means I don't feel completely trapped, and I don't have that that like feeling that I've maybe invested all my resources of this run into a weapon that I might be disappointed in. It could still happen, but not in quite the same way, because I can just be upgrading this blade, and I can just make it work differently over the course of the playthrough. Like, that's actually a super interesting choice that iterates on the design of the games that they're responding to, in a way that other Souls-likes often fail to do. Because Souls-likes frequently add mechanics that are just nonsensical, or they very much are like, like a Zelda game. They're essentially like, this is our gimmick. Like, we're a... Ah, you fool. You sneaky... Oh, Emmett, you missed me. Okay, I'm gonna be distracted for a minute. Oh boy. Is this the big room with the box? Just worried about... Okay, I don't see it. Just wondering if I should be worried about that right now. I enjoy that. That's just a satisfying, cool attack. Yeah, much like how every Zelda game, especially the 3D Zeldas, but even more recently just all the Zeldas, as the series went on, they felt the need to have a gimmick every time. This is the one with the train. This is the one with the cap that shrinks you. This is the one with the bird that we put it on the cover and we acted like it was the special gimmick of this one, but actually we couldn't make it work with the rest of the game, so it actually only shows up in one really isolated location and never comes up again. Whoops! This is the one with the wolf. Like, there's always a version of that. And Souls-likes that are made by third-party developers have a really bad tendency to just be like, we're like Dark Souls, but we're the one with the train. Like that kind of stuff. And it's like, okay, but how does that merge with the Souls-like genre, as awkward as the name of it be? Like, what does that add to it? And some of them do have good ideas, and some of them it just very much is like, I'm the one that I added a train. Factory Manager's Report. Dear Mr. Vanini, as per your orders, I conducted a quality investigation on the ergo supplied by the alchemists. Of course, it was done secretly. Certainly, the quality of ergo was getting worse over time. I don't doubt the alchemists. But the decrease in quality is too widespread to call it coincidence. At this rate, this quarter's puppets have a high chance of defects. The more important thing is the quality of the ergo, after all. According to a reliable source, the high-level alchemists are running ergo production experiments lately using another method. Personally, I think their secret experiments have done something to have something to do with the decrease in ergo quality. Are they wringing out the bodies of discarded puppets in the barren swamp or something? Anyway, I recommend approaching them carefully instead of complaining to them. Manager of Factory 1, Nicola. Reducing ergo quality. Why ergo? Why did they land on the word ergo? This light tells me, go to this ladder, but it doesn't do it. Maybe maybe it becomes a shortcut later and they're just calling attention to it now. There's a logic to lights like this in a video game. Generally speaking, this one's kind of like that, but that one's like way more eye-catching. But they are kind of throughout the area, so it's hard to tell. But it's one of those things that's subtle though, is that in video games, bright lights normally indicate a level design thing. They're communicating something to you because they want you to look at that thing specifically. It's like a more subtle, which is a weird thing to say about a bright light, but it's like a more subtle, somewhat more environmentally organic looking version, or somewhat more theatrical looking version of poopy ledges. All those ledges that got bird poop on them to signify that you can climb on them, and then sometimes they have paint on them. Hi. This game's great at sight lines, or just like when you walk in and you just see. They set up a thing earlier through a window, and then you come in and there it is. You're like, fuck, what does this mean? And then as you're approaching, it even does that. Oh god. Oh. Okay. That's interesting. That's an interesting. So I just appreciate clever games being clever. They set it up as a boss fight, so like it's gonna drop, and the guy's gonna come out of the box and fight me. So him falling through the floor is definitely a surprise. He's not moving anymore, but he was moving earlier. I'm very convinced there's someone inside that. I still think it's gonna be a fight. They're keeping you guessing a bit on the approach, and that's neat. Sorry for looking away during the moment. I was worried about ambushes. Oh. He looks like he's gonna be a problem. He's got 2 shields. Probably just shoves you a lot. That's just gonna be rude. No boss bar, so he's just a dude. A lot of health though. For just a dude. Ah. Oh god, my camera. Ah. At least I get stagger from that, even when I'm playing poorly. But damn. So that has a second attack I need to remember. God damn it. This guy's pissing me off. Because his attacks are really telegraphed, but I just do not have the timing. I'm just doing it wrong. The fucking... I missed. God, he's melting me. God! I'm not proud of myself. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's like, I look at the attacks, I'm like, yeah, I get it. And then I just don't do it. I just don't. None of the parries work. On some level, I feel like being used to rhythm games screws me over, because on some level I think I keep wanting to tap the guard button perfectly with when the attack looks like it'll land. Whereas I think there's like a wind up to you like initiating the block before it counts. So you have to like anticipate it and like do it slightly early. Aye aye aye. Oh god. Don't screw me on this having too wide of a swing. A motivity crank. Come on, baby, crank my motivity. Wait. That's the thing that makes my weapon better at motivity. Which is my thing I scale with. That's like the exact thing that makes my weapon stronger, right? Wasn't that the thing? Were cranks for hilts or weapons, or were they for my arm? Right, I need to use my arm more. I need to experiment with the lightning attack. Either way, I have gained 1 billion experience, so I should get myself a couple of levels either way. And what is she doing over there?
I'll use my power to help you.
Oh. Not gonna say anything. No.
I'll use my...
Nice round number. Wow, all the way down to exactly 2. Okay, let's remind ourselves what a crank does. I think it was for weapon upgrades. Got all this, a lot of this stuff too. That's 2,000. That's 1,200. So 3,200. 4,100. That's a lot. That's like a couple more levels, maybe. Motivity crank increases a handle's motivity. A crank that changes a weapon's properties. It alters the handle's abilities. A crank invents the workshop of fine adjustments to handles if one's ability is strange.
You're going to the factory to save Mr. Vanini, right? He's the richest man in Krat. A little eccentric, maybe, but a good person. I heard he went to shut the factory down. I hope he's safe. I wouldn't want to lose my best customer. I know my way around a weapon. Want me to look at something?
Alter handle. Just need 500 ergo real quick, but yeah, more motivity. None of these are good motivity handles. I do worry that it might be too much investment into a stat that it's not good at to begin with, but better scaling is good. I don't know what advance means. Or we'll make a weapon scale with advance. Just weird stats. Okay. Anyway, let's get 500 real quick. I'll just try not to get too worried about investing in the wrong things.
I know my way up.
They can also upgrade this.
I know my way.
This will give me another 12 damage, so overall we're getting fairly strong here. I don't think I recognized this until just now, but the relationship seems to be that the blade has raw damage. That's just a flat number, and it has these pulse cells and fable charge stats and stuff like that, and how good it is at blocking. It has a slash type. It has like its Y ability. It doesn't have scaling. Instead, the hilt controls the scaling. So the hilt controls both the moveset and the scaling. In some ways, it kind of further frees your weapon to just be used for whatever. The blade to be used for whatever, because it doesn't even affect the scaling itself.
Mr. Vanini is the richest man in Krat. His company manufactures most of Krat's exports. He's, peculiar, but a good-hearted man. Even though he's rich, he treats every employee with respect. I heard he went to shut the factory down. I hope he's safe. I wouldn't want to lose my best customer.
Alright. My soft souls are gone, so I'm safe, but I might as well see if I can get any more levels out of this.
I'll use my power to...
Next one is 3,300. Okay. That is up there now. Also, somewhat alarmingly, there is a second currency. I don't know if that's just a currency that lets you level, or if it's a currency you need to spend later to level. That might be hard, make it hard to level. So can I get to 3,300 with what I've spent now? That's 1,500, 2,700. I think I get to like exactly 3,300, right? That's 15, that's 12. 15 plus 12 was 27, plus 6 is 33. So I can get to 3342. So it comes down to the last two numbers. Okay, 33 something something. It's within like 10. It's so close. It's close enough to make me slightly worried about slightly messing up the math and that being the difference. Oh, wait, it says 1900. I looked at the wrong part of the interface. I looked at where it says current ergo, and there's a little chest icon, I think, and that shows you how, okay. So oh, that's cool. I didn't see it till just now, but it fucked me over in this case. So the little chest icon is how much ergo you have in physical items in your inventory, and then the little box is probably your storage. Rather confusingly, and I don't think this is unfair to say, or yeah, because that's required versus remaining. It's weird that current ergo doesn't actually show your current ergo, right? Your current ergo is all the way in the top right corner of the screen. It's also technically right above there in remaining ergo, minus whatever you like highlight here and so on, but I'm like, it's weird that they don't show your current held ergo in the part of the interface that called current ergo. It should say like current stored ergo or something. It's just kind of strangely labeled. Anyway, I thought that was how much I needed to level, which did feel a little high. And I pointlessly got too far. So now I get 3 damage per level, which is rough because I upgraded my weapon scaling, so it should be better at leveling, not worse. So I think 20 might be a soft cap, where we get worse at leveling our damage. But I have to check my old stuff maybe. But I swear we used to get more damage per level before, but I'm not sure.
That sounds very dangerous. Geppetto usually isn't so reckless. The pain of his grief may be clouding his judgment. Dear, I shouldn't have said that. You and Geppetto are always welcome at this hotel. Geppetto's room is on the 2nd floor. You can stop by whenever you like.
Geppetto's grief. Right, because Pinocchio died, right? Or Geppetto's son died, and Pinocchio was made to replace him. Is that always true, or just sometimes in these stories?
That book reminds me. Have you ever heard the fairy tale about a mischievous wooden puppet? All of Krat knows the story, all because of someone who loved that story more than anyone else. But this is strange. I do not recall. Who exactly was that someone? That book reminds me. Have you ever heard the fairy tale about a all of
Okay, well, right when I was thinking about that, the game just goes and does that. So the story of Pinocchio exists in this universe, but they're forgetting, they don't remember the name Pinocchio right here. Which raises a few questions of like, is it like, does the story exist in the same format? Are they doing a little nod to the existence of that story, but don't want to get too deep into it? Did Geppetto name himself after that character from that story? Is this the way I came in? Like, what do these... That's how I left when I was done with this place. You're just left to wonder how all these things combine and exactly what this means. So we can go back up, or take the creepy tunnel, or the well-lit spot. I'm gonna do the spot, which is the easiest. It feels like the easiest to miss. Not entirely, because you saw it on the way in, but it's not lit very well, so I feel like I might lose track of it if I don't go there now. I should have checked to see what I need to do to level up next time. Did I exit the range that the moonstone levels you during? Oh, that's weird. That door is so well lit and so it stands out so well, and it's colored and everything that it screams you can interact with this. Ah, I'm on this side now. So technically a shortcut back to the previous part of the level, although we have a teleport over here and a teleport over there, so it's functionally useless, but that kind of keeps happening in this game. That must be lowerable at some point to make a bridge, I think. But crucially, I have not been given any advantage for the fight. So I'm not especially inclined to try it yet. Still hoping to even the odds more. Even if it only amounts to being like, here's a temporary poison resistance. That is effective enough to get me through the fight. Which I don't think I have. I think I have the ability to cure it. Oh. That guy was alive. That was a plot twist in its own right. Fire damage is ticking away. Even how that's tracked matches from software. Same health bar with the same number. Treated largely the same way. Relatively spaced out boulders, I think. Or not. Ow. Okay. Rude, but I can just go rest. So I do believe I'm triggering the boulders then. They're not on a timer. Because there was not a new boulder for a while there until there was. I got the items though. But in a classic personal move, I definitely grabbed them in that way that I'd always do in Dark Souls in scary situations. Where I grab them without reading what they are, so... Hope I notice what they are later if they were important. That's the shortcut I just saw from the other side. So now I can start the sequence here, I guess. But otherwise I'm not sure why I do that. Is that guy doing this? Ah! Okay, well thank yous. I don't think he was doing this. Do I get souls from... Oop, fire axe blade and handle. Wow, new weapons are just coming in. They're all themed. Like, I only got like one new weapon in the first several levels, so there being 3 back-to-back here is neat. Bit of a surprise. Those look like characters. wearing animal masks, which have historically been very polite to me and don't attack me at all. It's a fire axe. It's about what I expected. Motivity C, technique C. It's fine. Called blunt damage, that's interesting. It is ultimately bladed, so I wouldn't expect it to be blunt. But I guess it's not, I don't think axes are usually that sharp, to be fair. It's just not like a mace. Oh, and here's this. Looks like. This game's definitely, it's currently displaying in rapid fire a thing I talked about, I think, last episode or so, where I'm just like, this game has a very strange relationship with shortcuts.
Oh, fantastic. The pipe fit like a glove. Well, like a pipe that fit. Idioms, you know?
This is at least this one's a pipe, so like, maybe it does something when it's connected? But what I just mean is that like, this game hits you with so many shortcuts so rapidly that I don't know when you would use most of them. Like me going past, like I went up that one side path and found a locked door. Then I went through the boulders, and while I was going up the boulders, I found the other side of that locked door immediately. I'm like, oh, okay. When would I use this door to skip to this part of the... I guess that shortcut lets you skip to the halfway point of the boulder hallway? I guess? Okay. But then 1 second later I get this, so now the pipes are connected, so now I can skip the entire boulder hallway. What? Vanini's a jerk. I just want to make as much as Vanini's butler puppet does. But yeah, ultimately it's like, you get the brain tinglies from seeing all the parts of the levels where the levels connect to themselves, but I don't think the shortcuts ever serve their purpose. Unless the goal is just to have a level that you can't fully navigate cleanly at the beginning, but then it opens itself up so consistently that you can basically take any path in any direction to get anywhere.
I have to stop them.
Who that? Are you Vanini? Can I talk to you? There's a whole ass zone with an enemy and everything.
That's rather disloyal. Quite insulting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Vanini. Alright, so before going anywhere else, let's go talk to the guys I saw over here. I guess those are probably the stalkers. Which admittedly, so far they seem to attack me. But I don't want to forget about them.
Admirers seem to follow me everywhere.
A fox and a cat? Oh, I can't get that close with the camera, that's annoying. I want to see what they look like. Yeah, it's a fox and a cat.
Pleased to see you, my stalker friend.
You made it all the way here unbothered by ruffians. You've got talent. I've never seen you before, but who cares?
This may well benefit our former client. Did you catch that subtle whiff of money in the air? Moneybags himself, Lorenzini Vanini, is inside this factory this very moment.
You caught us on our return trip. We had to deny his ridiculous request in person just to be sure it wasn't a joke. All we could do was laugh.
Keep your whiskers up if you're heading in there. He is the richest man in Krat. Or so they say. Who knows? Maybe he's handing out bags of money to lift his spirits.
Ha! That seems unlikely. No way are we doing that.
Well, anyhow, best of luck. Best of luck to you, my friend.
Are you carrying the latest edition of Vanini's Landmark Guide? It's the most popular non-fiction work in Krat these days. Maduro wrote the actual guide, but Vanini published and financed it. It goes for a premium at the shop, but Maduro might not get his cut. He went missing recently, which of course made that volume more popular than ever. If you can get all 3 volumes collectors want, bet you can get 4. No, 5,000 for it at the shop. But you're in luck. I have a conscience and a powerful sense of self-preservation. I'll let this one go for 500. That's a good investment. Don't sleep through it. You'll wish you had this, and the price is a steal. Let me know if you have any interest.
This month's attraction, Rose Estate. Warning, this book has been banned. If found, please report to the city. He's probably conning me, but it's not like it's a lot of experience to get.
I know a smart bargainer when I see one, and you really are something. I'm sure you'll regret nothing.
He, like, proudly conned me. This month's attraction, Rose Estate. Blah, blah, blah. Banned. Reading banned books will result in punishment. Are you sure you want to read it? It just saved when I read it, so it's gonna... Like, it knows I read it, and it's gonna keep track of that. Some uneven handwriting is here. You were warned, but you're reading a forbidden book. You're a bad person. Well, you're reading it, so this is what you get. The roses bloom at Rose Estate. Don't know the rest of it. The end. Reporter Cat. This guide was made with the support of the Red Lobster Inn. It's fake. It's it's counterfeit. It's not a real thing. Just let the roses bloom, that's it.
So, have you had time to read it? It's the first volume I wrote, so go easy. By the way, I need to mention something before it slips my mind. It's a shame that the original author went missing, but I fear you misunderstood this commitment. I am willing to sell my newest book for 500. No refunds, of course. That's a given. But look on the bright side. That volume of the series is not easy to acquire.
It's a con, 100%.
Best of luck to you, my friend.
Well. Oh. Now we've just about circumnavigated this thing. The question is whether I can do anything to actually help with the problem. There's a direction over here too. Oh, he's not alive. Or not dead. That throws me off when they're so close to dying. Alright. A shortcut back in a weird red hallway. Well, not that weird. Alarm. Bad things happening hallway. I gotta remember to go back to Vanini, or whoever that is. I gotta go back to the pipe, back at my spawn point. What was that shine? I think it's just a rendering issue. Okay. Hi! Oh, you brought friends. Hee. Goofy ass weapon. Right, lightning. Practice arm abilities. I'm just not used to having a left trigger button. Okay, so that one has writing on it, and that's how we know that you can do something there. Where is this? The boss fight? The sort of boss fight from earlier? Yeah. It takes me back here, which I think takes me back to the checkpoint, basically, because I just continue forward and I'll get there again. In some of these cases, I'm just like, I'll never have this specific layout in my brain, I don't think. So, I won't consider that path. Okay, I think my light got turned off. My bad. I want it to be on all the time, but I don't always notice. Question of the day. Does this factory worker ever think he would be destroyed like a puppet? Blue Blood's tailcoat and quartz. Oh, that's a level. Might even have a few of those. Nope, just the one. Formal attire of the stalker organization of bastards. The blue tailcoats are the bastards' pride. The bastards who didn't fit in with Krat's ruling class dreamed of overturning the world. They teamed up with the foreign alchemists of the Isle, opening the door to Krat's golden era. It's very goofy looking, the socks and everything. I'm an aristocrat. The Mad Donkey one's okay. They mostly just don't fit that well together. This is a good one. Recreate one. Who opened the door? Be one with the great ones. Recreate one. You who opened the door, be one with the great ones. Okay, it's a book. It's not a... I thought it was a red button at first. It's like suggesting a ritual, but I don't know if there's actually a thing to do. Oh, hi. Do you have legs? I don't think you do. Oh. Ah! Are they all crawling on the ceiling? What's going on? I didn't see them. That was very startling. Oops. There we go. All cleaned up.